Oliver.
Hello.
Hey Kim. Oh, you updated. You updated your look.
Yeah, I was talking about growing my hair back, and I got 4 votes out of 5 to say leave it short. So I'm gonna leave it short a little longer. So I think I better just update my picture to my current look.
You know, it's funny. I saw somebody posting this video yesterday, and it was like an early April Fool's joke. But the guy was dead serious, and he was like the Realtor Image Protection Act was just passed, and there's a new law coming out that realtors actually have to look like they do, like in real life. They have to look like that in their photo. It was funny because he was so serious about it. I was buying into it, and then at the end, he's like, "I'm just joking."
That's funny. Yeah, I gotta get my April Fool jokes lined up for tomorrow. So I gotta prank some
Yeah,
people.
What happened?
I gotta prank some of these agents. There's a lot of very
Hold on,
gullible
man.
agents on this team that I'm gonna have to go ahead and prank.
Mhm.
Sean, can you hear us out there? I see him, but he's on mute. And
Yeah,
Austin's gonna pop in
yeah,
here
I can.
too. What's up, brother?
Not much.
Hey, you want to just say hi and tell Antonio and Kim who you are? Sean just joined the team. Him and I have known each other for a little while through our barber of all places, and he's in onboarding, so he's going through the bumpy road now.
Yeah. I tried making the email address like 3 or 4 times now, so there's a little bit of echo, but I'll try to make this quick. Yeah, I'm just covering the Wesley Chapel, New Tampa area, and I know Alexander since 10 plus years ago, man. It's been a while when he was flipping
That's my old name.
houses
He knows
and
me so long, he's
done
calling me by my old name.
I've gone the roundabout, done a few houses, been in real estate, had my license I don't know, 12, 13 years at least. And yeah, just was a EXP Realty for the last 10 years, and it was pretty stagnant over there, not much activity. So I'm looking to see where there's a little bit more activity and a lot more fun because it was pretty boring.
It's more fun.
Thank
Well,
you.
Kim is our culture coordinator, so she's in charge of the fun.
I was just gonna say, are you gonna be there Thursday, Sean?
He probably doesn't know about it
Say
yet.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, so the
Oh,
first Thursday of every month we have an event for our team.
It's going to be hard because I have a day job, 9 to 5, so, and I also have other things that I'm CDD chair as well. So it depends because Wednesday tomorrow I have a CDD meeting at 6:30. So I don't know if I'll be able to make that. Well, that's
How'd
actually
you
no,
get
that's
this?
Wednesday. If it's on Thursday, I might be able to. It's a kind of iffy though. I don't want to make any promises I can't keep.
All good. Well, it's the first Thursday of every single month. We have an event. Like we're doing Beef O'Brady's, a little trivia, and we'll get sponsors to come out and pay for us, buy some appetizers. All right, so first meeting is going to be a little loose, but it's going to be good for us to get together and talk some deal level stuff. And to be honest with you, this is like I'm happy to do this because this is going to be good for me to just help hold myself a little bit more accountable. I definitely have learned by taking over this team, the more I teach, the better I get, the more I sharpen my sword. So the theme of this mentorship program is hustle harder. And it's actually, it's real easy in this business to get caught up doing a whole bunch of non-income producing activity. I'm guilty of it myself. I spent like 6 months at one point in my career building the greatest website of its time and then forgot to actually do anything with it. So I had a really cool website and no business. So I want to just really start hammering in and focus on the activities that produce income. And so here's our hustlers. Where's Jeff, by the way? Jeff, did you come in yet? He in here? All right. No, all day long, guys, my phone rings with the with the fires exploding on this team. If anybody wants my job, I'll sell it to you. All right, so today's agenda, RGA schedule, and then obviously, I mean, all three of you currently have other jobs that take you away from having a full-time focus on real estate. But that's part of the game, right? That happens here, and it's just a matter of coming up with a schedule that works for you to be able to add those little time slots of productivity throughout your schedule, whether it be on the weekends, whether it be at night, whether it be on your lunch break, making a couple of extra calls. I'm really big on small habits, big rewards. And I read that book a few years ago, and I started doing that with as simple as a push-up, 10 push-ups every time before I pee. It literally starts with that. Like one phone call. Like think of the ways to squeeze in that extra one call, one text. I mean, I know that I'm a little bit psycho, but when I'm at a red light, I can't sit still. Like I can't sit still for 2 minutes at a red light. I pull out my phone and I start texting people and I'll make a phone call and follow or send an email or do something, anything. And that's this whole concept that I've come up with. I've heard it said before. There's a couple other acronyms for this, but I try to focus no matter what I'm doing. When I get distracted from Slack channel or from WhatsApp or the phone call or whatever's going on, or my kids running past me, I try to always come back to what I call RGA, and that is revenue generating activity. That is any action that directly leads to income, either by creating a new opportunity, moving an existing deal closer to closing. And in real estate, that's just as simple as prospecting, follow ups, setting appointments, going on appointments, negotiating contracts, and closing deals. So, everything, if you just live for this RGA in a job where if you don't do the A, you're never going to get the R. So if it's something that doesn't clearly connect the dots to getting you a signed agreement and ultimately a paycheck, then it is not RGA. So I want to make that clear distinction that there's a whole bunch of things that we do as real estate agents that we think are productive. Like I got to update my profile on my Instagram or I got to post on social media. Yeah, that stuff is needed and is good, but it is not directly attributed to RGA. So, and look here at the end, high performers obsess over maximizing RGA time. I am absolutely a high performer, and I obsess over maximizing my RGA time. And I have super severe ADHD, unmedicated, so I have to constantly pull myself back to that. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why is, I mean, I have time blocks in my schedule that pop up at 6 o'clock every day, says RGA. And I just do a 15-minute block. But over the course of the week, that's an extra hour and a half of RGA. And if you're doing an hour and a half worth of extra work that you wouldn't have otherwise, eventually that's going to lead to a paycheck. So, what are the key metrics in real estate that will lead you to RGA? And I'm going to come up with a some sort of a little tracker to share with you guys. Um, because number one, appointments for the week. If you're not setting goals and tracking the actual results, then you're never going to know where you were and you're never going to get to where you want to be because you don't know where you're going, right? And it gets away from you. I know for me, like I'll hit Wednesday and be like, damn, like I haven't done anything. Like I've been hosting meetings and attending meetings, and you guys are working your day job, and it's just so easy for that time to get away. So we have to start somewhere. So I'm going to put this together in a workable format that you can print out and just keep with you and just set some goals at the beginning of the week. And then what we're going to do, it's really simple. Every Tuesday night, we're going to talk, like you guys are going to report these RGA metrics to me beforehand, and we're going to go over them and we're going to see what was your goal, what was your actual. If you hit your goal and beyond, what did you do to get there so you can share it with the team? And if you didn't hit the goal, then I want you to just be real honest. I want this to be a totally open forum No judgment whatsoever. Like just I will never ever berate you or say, yeah, you got to be making your calls. You got to do this. Look, like you are all self-employed, just as I'm self-employed. So set the goals, do the activities that get you to those goals. And if you don't, then just be honest with yourself and be honest with the group. I want to see us all just like I have this thing called rising tide, right? Where the tide will rise. The tide rises slowly. This is not, you'll if you try to jump from here to sky high in an instant, you'll fail. If you start out way too high, so just make it something realistic. Right? And I want you guys to think like how many appointments did you have in the last week? If you're not really active and the answer is zero, that's okay because the goal should be one. Like, let's figure out how to get you that one appointment. And what are the things that get you there? And number two, that gets you there is the activities. So calls, texts, emails. And Kim and Antonio, I know you guys have seen that I've really been paying close attention and really giving people pats on the back that are making the calls and doing the activity. And when we see the wins report, it's the same thing every time. The people who are doing a ton of activities, they're the ones that are making paychecks, and the people who aren't are not. I mean, it's really that simple. And then obviously we were going to focus on the results. And in this business, there's really just two results that we're looking for. How many deals did you get under contract in the last week, and how many deals did you close? Under contracts lead to closings. That's all there is to it. And I definitely I'm going to challenge you guys to push me. Like I want you to be very clear. I want this to be a two-way street. I don't want to be here teaching. I want to be here learning and being pushed. So I'm going to be actively involved in these same exact metrics. I'm going to keep track. I want to be held accountable and I want to make all of us better together. And one of the things that I have been totally against my whole entire career because I'm just too good for it or I'm too busy for it, but I'm sitting on my butt on the weekends not doing anything, is open houses. And I want to suggest being strategic about these open houses. It's not always just the most expensive property. It's also the property that's going to get the most traffic, something that's like a block off of a main street where if you put out 20 signs and just post up, you're going to get opportunities. Because at the end of the day, these open houses, despite what sellers might think, are not to sell the house. Like rarely does an open house sell a house, but it puts you in a position where buyers are going to walk in the door and you can grab them. And you could, and I'm going to, I want to teach you guys some tricks that I've learned over the years that really help to optimize an open house. Obviously getting people in the door is the main thing, and that's the toughest part. But really, once you get them in the door, what do you do with them? What do you say to them? How do you impress them? What are you bringing with you to hand to them? Do you have knowledge of the neighborhood? Do you have listings? Like when I do open houses, in the rare event that I do, and I'm going to start doing maybe one or two a month, I come with other properties nearby, especially if my listing is not the best house in the neighborhood, then I'm going to try to take that buyer if they're unrepresented and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be done here at 2 o'clock, especially if somebody that comes in at the end. Like, do you want to see this house? Like, and I'll look them straight in the face and say, like, this is a better deal than my listing. Like, this is the best house in the neighborhood. Do you want to go see it with me? And they're already there, so what's the harm? And doing something like that is going to really show your value. They're going to know because I hear this a lot. Um, is that an agent that's at a listing, I'm sorry, at their listing at an open house is just trying to only sell them that property, and that is no way to land that client as a buyer. You're there to say, hey, here I am. This is my listing, or this is the property I'm hosting at. Take a look. But if you say something that not, the other agents aren't selling, especially if it's your listing, like, hey, there's another house down the street. I think it's better. It's a little bit bigger. It's a better price or whatever it is. Do you want to check it out? Like you're really gonna have an opportunity to in that one little minute that you get to talk to them to really show your value and really surprise them. Like, wow, I can't believe they're not just trying to sell me their house. And that's gonna open the door for a bigger, better conversation. And then if I don't know why five is on here. Results twice. Um, But at the end of the day, maybe I mistakenly want to put this together, is that we want to track the results of these activities in these open houses. What are the activities that you're doing, and not just what are they. To say it's easy to say I made 100 phone calls, but I want to get back together and talk about like real life scenarios and really start hammering out some deal level trainings with you guys. So as we progress here, I'm going to want you guys to come to this mentorship class with questions. Like, hey, I got this deal. Like, I want to help you on real deal level activities, and that way, as this group grows, then it'll just be a rapid, um, just a brain trust of information here, and we'll all just learn at a rapid pace because we'll be experiencing circumstances that other agents are getting. And there's not a tremendous amount of different circumstances that happen in this business. It's kind of the usual suspect when it comes to objections and issues and repair addendums and pricing a property and those sort of things. So we'll just learn a lot faster if we're doing it together. Now, I put this together and I shared it before. But the one thing that I want everyone to leave from tonight with is I want you to come up with what is your real estate schedule. So you've got your other job, whatever, you're working 9 to 5. I want to I'm not interested in that part. I'm interested in getting you out of that job, to be honest with you. And I think everyone here would be perfectly fine with that at some point. Um, except Antonio, who's now um our resident capital title agent. Um, but I want you to come up with like what are the things that you're going to do through your day. And I think I shared this slideshow with you guys. If I haven't, I will. Um, is you have to come up with blocks of time. Like when are you going to do RGA? And for me, this is my ideal schedule. And I won't dare sit here and tell you that I actually accomplished this. Like, do I ever complete one full day and actually do this? No, because as a real estate agent, you get pulled in a million directions, especially with us being a Zillow flex team. The RTT comes in and everything else gets dropped and your schedule completely pivots. But if you have nothing to do, I strongly suggest having some sort of prayer, meditation practice when you get out of bed in the morning, practicing scripts, reading, learning. YouTube has a trillion videos that you could watch on anything that you need to get better at. I mean, everybody, I've heard everybody say, I want to work with for sale by owners, or I want to work with expired and withdrawals. But there's no magic bullet to that except doing the action. And the best place to start is if you want to do for sale by owners, look up on YouTube. How I'm a realtor, how do I get for sale by owners? And I guarantee you're going to find very, very valuable content. Um, and then pick a time block, whatever it can be. But if it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes, if it's an hour, like ideally, if you're going to get into FUB and start grinding out some leads, or if you're going to go door knocking or something, you got to commit to at least an hour. So it's really about what can you fit into your schedule right now to help you get to the next deal. So I want everybody to leave tonight and go and start putting together a schedule. Come back next week. I'll remind you, this is actually homework to come up with what is your game plan? Because I need to know like what are you committing to? Like what are you yourself committing to so that as your mentor, I can hold you accountable, right? Because that's the thing in this business is without accountability, it's easy for a week to go by and really do nothing, right? Like you can literally accomplish nothing. You'll feel like you did a whole bunch of work, but you might not necessarily have done anything to push the needle forward. Um, Middle of the day, that's perfect for following up and pipeline management and appointments. Take a break. Um, and then, for me, the one thing that keeps me going through all the chaos of the transactions is I absolutely love, you guys see me in my Sora videos and I'm just gonna be doing the podcast soon and I'm gonna definitely invite you guys to come on and be a guest on the podcast. And then could take some clips from that and turn it into your YouTube video. Like part of what I want to do as your mentor is help you with those fringe things too. Because at the end of the day, you are a sitting duck to whatever your internet profile shows. And if somebody Googles your name and what pops up in their vision is not sufficient to say like this is a successful realtor, like we got to work on that. Like we've talked about the Google page, like having your own Google page and have me, I have my own, I have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm huge on YouTube. My Zillow profile is completely maxed out. You got to have that social media presence. Because the last thing you want is to have a really good conversation with somebody and they're like, wow, Kim really sounds like she's really knows what she's doing. And then they Google you and then they land on your page and they're like, well, that's not impressive. So you can lose a client there. And trust me, they're doing their homework too. And they should. And then the nighttime, it's funny. I was doing that Wednesday night unhinged with Joel. Didn't get a very good turnout, and I just, I was like, I'm not going to waste my time talking to myself on this Google Meetup. But for me, like my whole entire career, anytime I've committed nighttime hours to prospecting, that's when you're going to get a hold of people. Um, After 5 o'clock. Like most people are working a 9 to 5 schedule. Like so, if you start bringing them, I mean, me, I suggest 4 to 6 because sometimes you get people leaving early from work, and you get them on the phone, or if they don't work a regular schedule, you might catch them before they're going to work if they work a nighttime schedule or something like that. So, but always mix it up. I mean, if you're calling a prospect in the morning and you don't get them, you should call them back that night, and that's really all there is to it. If you're reaching out to them once or twice and that's all you're doing, I mean, statistics show that it's like between the 12th and 16th phone call or attempted contact. Imagine, like if you think about the leads that you have that you're working right now, how many of them have you called that you haven't talked to, have you tried to call 12 to 16 times? I'm guessing the answer is none. And really, like the money is in the follow-up in this game. And if you think you're bugging someone, I look at it, I have the complete opposite perspective, and you hear me say this all the time. I say buy or die. Like if I have a lead, I want them to tell me that the reason that they're going to buy, or I want them to tell me to die, right? Or die as a lead, and I can get it out of there. Like there's no point in having 150 leads in your CRM and you haven't touched them. Like they're not going to find you. So constant contact, like consistent follow up, and that is all going to go back to the RGA, and we're going to start tracking our metrics, and we're going to take a real hard look in the mirror and say like, if I'm having success right now, here's why, and if I'm not having success, the answer is usually pretty obvious, and it's because you haven't been putting in the effort. So, like this is a job where you can make $500,000 a year. Like you can definitely make $500,000 a year, and that's where I'm headed. And this is going to be a good piece of that puzzle for me to be hosting this mentor class because it's just going to make me more accountable. So, you pick amount of money that you want to make, and then you work backwards from there. And it's all about the activities. All right. Let me pull off of this screen here. Um, any questions? Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'd like to go around and let me start with Kim. I want to hear what you've got going on. Like how much activity you've been doing. Do you think it's sufficient? What can you do better? What do you need help with? Go.
Call on me first. Um, well, I try to make calls in the FUB. Let me take that back. I need to make more calls in the FUB. I do text messaging because I just really haven't gotten comfortable with making a whole lot of phone calls. But I'll send text messages, and that's about it. Just, I'll go around the neighborhood. On Sundays, we're on our bikes. So I'll put door hangers up, um, networking events. So that's about it. Is it getting me anywhere? I don't feel like it's getting me anywhere fast enough. No.
But would you agree that if we could get you more comfortable on the phone, that that's going to be a much faster path to your success?
Yes, and then I think I need to get more comfortable with the pond because it seems like I don't know if I'm just not doing the search correctly, but it seems like everything that I click on, someone's already working on. So,
Yeah, well, that's definitely true because it's a frenzy in there. It's a zoo.
yeah, so that's
Well,
about it.
what else? Is there real estate related, like aside from prospecting, if there was one thing that you feel like you're weak on, what would that be?
I've gotten comfortable with the buyer side. I want to get more comfortable with the seller side. Like right now, it's, the two friends I have that's selling their homes, that we're going to work on together. If I have someone that says, I want to sell my home, I don't really feel comfortable going on the listing appointment by myself yet.
Yeah. Well, have you been on a listing appointment?
I have, but the last one I did, which was last year, that was the one that I did with Alan. So he pretty much did the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly any of this, like talking to people on the phone, that's a scary thing. That's scary for most people, and it was for me too, right? And it's just muscle memory. And the thing, and the seller is even scarier because like you're in their house, like you're a guest in their home. So of course that's totally natural. Um, so the only way to learn that and understand it is to just, we'll start doing some role play maybe, maybe
Hmm.
like about like some phone call role play to just start working with objections and objection handling on the buy side, but on the sales side too. It's really about on the sell side, it's honestly it's fake it until you make it because how could you really ever know how to sell a house as a listing agent until you do it? The tough part is pricing the house, and I'll be able to show you how to put together a good CMA and a good marketing package to walk in the door with, so at least like you've got the tools in your hand that you're not going to
Hmm.
hit a point where you're like, I don't know what to say. And we'll definitely go on those appointments together, and I'll teach you on the fly. Um, but it's just a matter of doing the activities, guys. Like just doing them over and over and over again. Like me, I've just had the conversation about real estate so much that I don't. I mean, it's just and that's and the only way to get there is to go through, right? Like what is that saying? Like the only way through is through, and that's really what it's all about. So we'll work on that. Um, Antonio, can you talk?
Yes, I can talk.
Did you hear what I was
So,
asking Kim?
yeah, I did. So, I mean, I'm doing a follow up with the Zillow leads, but I'm basically trying to get organic leads. So, I've been on a list. I went on a listing appointment last week. Somebody had called me. I try and drop my cards everywhere I go somewhere. I try and drop my cards, and he picked up a card at the gym and called me from that. Uh,
Nice.
I guess the biggest thing is I want to build back up my social media presence. So doing little short reels. Um, yeah, it's pretty much just commitment for me. I gotta schedule a time and be committed to it. Accountability. I guess these
Yeah.
meetings right there is gonna hold me accountable, so my activity will be picking up. Cause I do
Yeah.
stuff
I
and
mean,
then
it's
something else will pop up, and then I just stop and start doing that, and then that's that shiny ball syndrome.
yeah. Well, I'm guilty of it. I mean, to no end. You've been around me enough to know. Like I can get distracted by a feather blowing by me in the room.
Yeah, so
So
it's just being accountable and actually doing the actions.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's really what this is. That's what this is going to be for all of us is commitment, right? Like, commitment, accountability, and you're your own boss. You know, like we're all over the place. We're doing our own thing. Like nobody's going to be there to hold your hand and make sure you pick up the phone. Um, but accountability amongst each other, you know, and I want us, yeah, I'm gonna start a group chat so we can just kind of check in on a daily basis, like hey, and congratulate each other when we're doing the wins. Like just even if you're making the calls and the calls don't get anywhere, you know, it's Tom Hopkins, one of the old school real estate guy. The way he would legitimately visualize his activity is you know every time he gets a no, it's one step closer to a yes. And he came up with a mathematical formula like he had to make 20 phone calls to get to the one. So he'd be like he would be on his 15th phone call and somebody would say no and hang up on him or whatever the result would be. And he's like I'm definitely going to get one out of the next five. Right? And you'll hear me talk about it all the time. Like this game is a numbers game. And every human being that I talk to, I look at them like this is a potential customer. And but still, like you, I still have those moments, man, where I'm like walk out of the conversation, I'm like, damn, man, like I should have given them my card, or I should have said this, or I should have said that. And it's just a mindset, right? You just got to make yourself a machine. So what organic leads? What's your number one target?
I'm gonna work uh seller leads. I want to do listings. This buyers thing, just I really don't like it. I'm
Yeah,
driving
well,
100 miles
unfortunately, the
and
grass
then getting
the grass is the grass is always greener on the other side. Yeah, I got five listings right now and they're just sitting and I'm spending a lot of time with them. So I would highly suggest that you shoot for a healthy mix of both. Never try to just get to one side because as the market changes, like right now, like it's a buyer's market. So yeah, the buyers are a pain in the ass and you got to drive all over the place and you know and you'll get the buyer that's got you out there showing houses and they're not even qualified, but definitely, I mean, the ideal situation is to be a listing agent that has a bunch of listings and you're getting buyer leads from your listings. But when I say what's your number one target, like what is the target? Because it's to say seller leads is entirely too ambiguous. Like we need to pick something that we're going to zoom in on.
So my niche, I guess is what you're asking, is I want to go after expires and FISBOs.
Okay, that's a that's a tough one, but a good one. I need to
But they already been on the
I need
market.
to
The biggest, huh?
No, yeah, I mean it's really the key there is the approach and to have a different approach. I'm
Yeah.
I've actually I've had expires and FISBOs on my list forever. But the difference is, and here, let me put this out there because I'm gonna say my list here is expireds and FISBOs also. So challenge me to get it to F together. Like they're the lowest hanging fruit. An expired listing or withdrawn. So I always make a specific distinction that you've got expireds, you've got withdrawns, and you've got FISBOs. Because an expired listing and a withdrawn listing are two different animals. You would think that they're the same thing, but one is, and I've said this before, you probably heard me say this. An expired is the agent didn't do their job for whatever reason. They didn't price it right. Their marketing wasn't good enough. If the contract ran out and the house just came off the market just because the contract expired. And a withdrawn listing, that agent got fired, right? So, but keep in mind in both scenarios, you might think you're calling them as the hero, but they don't like realtors because their only experience is that realtor they just hired didn't get it done. So it's a difficult animal to conquer, but it can absolutely be done. And I've done it before, and I'll gladly teach my tricks. Um, Sean,
Yeah, man. Um, right now I'm not even onboarded yet, so I'm trying to figure that out. And once I do, that'll probably be next week because the guy said the calls are only on Mondays. And so I was at work, and I also had some previous commitments. So next week I'll get that squared away, and then after that, I'm trying to figure out, navigate my way around the website link that you gave me, where everything is, so I know where to go. Because I'm currently dealing with just a couple clients right now, but they're both investors looking for fixer uppers, and also people looking for just regular houses too. So I have to really just kind of get used to navigating through that website. And also, it's different for me because, as I talked to you previously before, I was writing all the contracts up myself. So, figuring out, who to call and who to talk to and have the right resources available so that I can act quickly to put an offer on a property and know who to contact to get things moving. That's really only my main thing right now, is just getting comfortable with that and knowing how to do that so I can actually, get transactions going. In terms of, leads and things like that, I know that you're going to set it up with the Zillow. So it's really just for me, just kind of figuring out, where all the tools are, how to use them, and then just, going from there. I'm not going to try to, overwhelm myself too much with anything else at this moment. It's really just figuring out where to find everything and just go from there.
okay. We gotta, we just gotta get you in the game. That's right. We gotta get you on the field.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good stuff. All right. So I just kind of wanted to lay that framework, and I'm going to go back to the RGA, and I'm going to send you guys, like I said, the appointments for the week, the activities, results, and really be paying attention. Like what's working, what's not. Pick your target. Is that put and show and I want you guys to be sharing with me like what it is that you're doing. Like show me the physical marketing that you're using. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you talking to? So that I can help you tweak that. And um, expired FISBA. I mean, look, at the end of the day, like we all want to be listing agents. That is the glorious, the more glorious side of this job. So of course, I'm always going to gravitate there, and maybe we'll start doing some stuff related to my listings.
Not me.
So you can. Hi,
But
Austin.
I love
What's up,
buyer
man?
agents. You know that I love to be the buyer agent.
You can be my buyer's agent. Sell my listings. Um, what do you need help with?
Who me? Man,
Yeah, you.
I was just in the office. You know what my scenario is. Trying to get there because the 14-year-old, the baby. That's my schedule. That's my thing. That's the only really dilemma I have. I talked to you today. That's like the only thing I have is it takes me 2.5 hours to get to work every day. Hour to my mom's, almost an hour and 30 back to the office. So that's my dilemma. And then another 2.5 to go pick her up. That's just you know my scenario. Everybody knows my scenario. Kim does, Antonio does. So that's my scenario. The motivation,
Now
everything else is there.
here's my question. What are you doing on the weekend?
I try if like Antonio knows if I can show if I could go show people some properties, I'm doing that too. I did that over this weekend too. I showed that one guy, the investor that I got that we've tried to buy like 8 houses the last week and a half, but they've outbid him on his offers. Um, I've been showing them properties on the weekends too. I've been in Ruskin. I was in where was I? With Lakeland. I was in Tampa twice. So tomorrow I might have to show them a property. So St. Pete the other day. So I'm I'm definitely moving around with him at least, because he's really motivated.
Yeah. Well, that's the key, is to finding the motivated buyers and get them out there.
Yeah, he's super
What
motivated.
does does anybody have a schedule conflict on March 11th, which is a Saturday?
No, I don't.
I'm sorry, April 11th.
I don't think
I
I
do.
do. Why? What's up?
Well,
I'll be
because
at
I
the
want
Blueberry
to
Festival.
Blueberry Festival. Come on, man. Because
Take
I'm
the
gonna
baby.
I'm gonna commit right now, and I might fall out of my chair as I say this,
What time?
that I'm gonna do an open house somewhere Saturday the 11th. And what I would like is that if anybody's available, I would like you to do it with me. Like I want to like do a group open house.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
We can make some content while we're there. We'll get Jeff. Hopefully we get Jeff, the rapping realtor, out there.
Still haven't seen this. I want to see this. I gotta see this, man. I gotta see this for
What?
myself. So what you just said.
What? The rapping realtor?
Yeah.
No, he made some really good content at Ken's $1.5 million listing. He did like a just out of the blue. Michelle Celio popped in and he did just like an interview with her. It was really cool. And this is Michelle, who's been absolutely terrified to get on camera. So you know what? There's that guy Scott. There, we got a $3.5 million luxury waterfront listing. It's all the way down in Clearwater. We can just pile in my car and drive. Maybe if that's available, head down there. But unless I gotta check my schedule before I fully commit. Look, and here's the deal, guys. Like that's like I don't run a team that's like you have to do this. Like I'll just provide the opportunity, and whoever wants to go and do it will do it. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? Nothing. What's the best thing that can happen? Somebody walks in the door that's looking at a $3 million house that doesn't have an agent, and there's $100,000 commission at the end of the road.
That's
Does
beautiful.
um does anyone have anything deal related? Like what just we got
Well,
18
yeah,
minutes.
I do real quick. So that the guy we've submitted like 8 offers on different, well, 9 offers on 8 different houses. Um, I think I was talking to you earlier about it, but you was on the phone. I didn't want to bother you. So I think personally, and I told him this in Spanish, you need to up because these are all investors. So you need to up your bid on the house a little bit more. He's been doing it slowly but surely. What do you, in your opinion, how would you approach that? Maybe I'm too aggressive with him, because you know how I am.
Well, how low is he coming?
So say we just did an offer today, and I told him that's too low. The house was 225, but it needs like 80, 90,000 dollars worth of work. You know what I mean? He does all his homework before he even does it. I got to give it to him. He does all his check to see how much money he's gonna make before he even submits it. So we came in today at 180. They want
And
225.
what's the list price?
The listing price was 225, I believe.
Actually, hold on. Let me um
He came in
let
at
me
he
pull
came in
this
we
up.
came in at 180. 14-day to close, 7-day inspection period.
You remember the address?
Yeah, let me look at that real quick. Let me look for it real quick. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I want to pull it up. Let's look at it. I think the sweep thing is getting fixed, guys, while we're waiting for that. And remember, if anything gets taken, just come right to me, and I will pull it back to you. No questions asked. Kim, Antonio, you got anything missing, or you got it back?
Nope, I got
Nope,
it
I ain't
back.
missing it.
222217 Corrine Street, Tampa, Florida.
CORI
2217 Corrine,
spell.
Corrine Street, Tampa, Florida 33605. Corrine.
Oh, there it is.
So
It's under
it's
contract.
already. Damn.
Oh, already. That's probably why you
2217
didn't get
currency. That we put the offer in this morning.
get one under contract today, my man.
Yeah, yeah. See, I didn't. They didn't even tell me nothing. Yeah.
So,
See,
I mean, that's why you didn't get it. And it's crazy. It's like the house has been on the market for 90 days. But the best thing I can teach you here is use this property as a case study to show this guy, like, look, it's under contract. Like, and it doesn't, people get so caught up on, oh, it's been on the market this many days and I want to try to get a deal, right? And at the end of the day, if the numbers don't work for an investor, there's nothing you can say to them that's going to make them pay more, right? So maybe the property was too high in the first place. Like, did this guy probably already know before you even stepped foot in it that he would never pay anywhere near this price?
no, just
Do you
he
think
did
he
all his
already?
homework. He went. We went to go see it. He did all his homework, and he's like, I got to put like 80. After, he don't really tell me right then and there. He just thinks about it, and then he comes back and calls me. He's like, yo, I want to put an offer in, but I'm gonna put like 80. I need like I'm gonna have to put like 80 in it. The roof, this, that. He knows what he's doing. But so I said, what do you want to put in? He goes, 180. And I told him, I said, man, it's at 225. We lost the last offer because you bid a little bit too low. So I said, man, I think you should come a little bit higher because somebody's gonna outbid you. And I knew this already, but it's not my money. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if it was my money, I would bid. Me personally, if it was my money, I would have went higher. But what he told me, how much money he could make off it after he invests, the fixing it up, I would have went higher. But it's not my money. So he
What's
told me 180,
what's
180
that?
is what
What?
it is.
Excuse me. What's the after repair value? Do you know?
It was like he told me it was like three. He'd have after if he would have got it for 180, he'd have put like 60, 70 in it. He'd have made a good 70 in it. What he told me after repair value.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we have the answer why you didn't get that one or you didn't hear back.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Now we
already
know.
gone.
As soon as I get off the phone here, I'm gonna call him and tell him I'm actually gonna send him. I'm gonna go and take a picture of that and send it to him and say it's pending because I keep telling him. I keep telling him this is like the ninth one. This is the ninth one in 2 weeks, Joe.
Yeah.
He's aggressive now. He's not. He's serious. It's just I can't get him to budge on a certain number. I go see the property with him. I'm right there with him. So I know a little bit about fixing our houses because my dad used to fix and flip too, and we both did it. But he knows how to actually. So I learned a lot from my father. So I know I could look at it and tell, guesstimation, pretty good guesstimation. And then when he gives me the numbers, I'm like, yeah. But in my mind, I'm saying like all about that too. But I tell him you need to up your value because you're not the only investor. There's a lot of them trying to get that house. So it might be him and like 10 other investors. You know how that is.
Yeah. Well, you see this one's going. So, sometimes the only way they're going to learn is to lose properties. I mean, that happens a lot of times with homeowners too. They want a deal. You know, I'm gonna just go off on a little bit of side. Yeah, like I'd like to know, like, let's say somebody's looking at a house for 250 and it's been on the market. Let's just use this as an example. House is listed for 250. It's been on the market for 150 days, and the buyer really likes the house, and they say, "What do you think I should offer?" What do you tell
Okay, so it's been on the market for 60 days, 250. He did it. Say let's make up a scenario. So he did all the homework and say he's gonna
Yeah, let's
make
say that. Let's just pretend this is a homeowner in this case,
oh
like that
oh okay,
wants to
not a
buy the
flipper.
house.
Okay, no, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
because an investor is never gonna just pay a normal price. They always want a deal, right? Like just a homeowner, they see the house. It's been on the market for a while. Like first time home buyer. It's listed for 250, and they're like, Austin, what should we offer?
Me first, I'm gonna do a CMA and just a guess to see what they're selling for around that neighborhood at the same type of house. You know what I mean?
Good
Four,
answer.
three, three, two, whatever it is. And then I said, give me like an hour and I'll let you know. So say
Yeah.
we do all that. So I would come at 250. Say if the neighborhood is around 240. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna try. I'm never gonna pay the full price. I'm gonna try to low ball them at least 10 to 15,000.
Well, you as the agent are going to suggest that?
Yeah, it worked for me in the past.
You know what I say? And
What?
this I've changed. I say the list price. And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, you love it and you saw it at 250 and you wanted to see it." Now, don't worry. I'm going to get them their closing costs paid, because everybody needs closing costs. But I'm just saying that that's just an example of something that I say, not necessarily what I'm actually trying to get them to do. But I've learned over the years that being a superhero doesn't get you anywhere in real estate, but you miss the deal. So when somebody legitimately says to me, like, "Well, what do you think we should offer?" I'm like, "The list price." I look them right in the face, the list price. And what it does is it sets the bar at like, "Oh my God, like he's telling me I should pay the full price." But that, so then they're like, "Well, yeah, can you think we could come in a little bit lower?" And in most cases, with a first-time buyer or and any buyer getting a loan, they're always going to need some closing help, usually like 3%, which in this case would be $7,500, 3% of 250. So then they'll be like, "Well, don't you think we can get a little bit off?" And I'll say, "Well, we do need to get the seller to pay for your closing costs, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, well, why don't we do this? Let's offer 245 and try to get them to pay 3%." Right? And I do that because that gives a little bit of room for negotiation for them to come back. Um, but I just don't try to be the superhero, right? I'm trying to get the deal done. And if they lose the deal over 5 grand or something, then they're gonna be upset, and they might even, they might even lose their desire to buy. So I always try to get people to come in as close to the list price as possible, unless I look at it and I know the price is crazy and it shouldn't be that. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but at the end of the day, like our duty is to try to get these people in the house, and it's hard enough to find the house that they actually like. So if they say they love it, I'm like, well, show you love it. Give them what they want, right? Because you know what that's going to mean. If they actually give them the full price, then they're probably going to get the house. And that's just me through experience of doing hundreds and hundreds of deals. Is that I've lost a bunch of the ones where we're trying to nickel and dime and trying to get $10,000 off, and you start off with a bad taste in the seller's mouth. So, yeah, get your clients a deal, get them a little bit of money off, but just don't go crazy, right? Like just get them a deal that they feel comfortable with, and then I love to role play with my clients, and I there's a thing that I learned a long time ago. If I could, would you? And I'll play a little game with them there right on the spot, and I'll say, if I could get this to you for 240, would you take it? And a lot of times they'll say, "Yeah, that sounds great." Then I backtrack and say, "Okay, remember, we need to get $7,500 for your closing costs, right?" And they say, "Yeah." I say, "Okay, so then if we offer them 245 and ask for 7,500 back, and I'll do the math, and I'll say that would be 237.5. So that would be even less than the 240 that you're talking about, right?" They say, "Yeah." Okay, well, let's start with that. But what I do is a thing called future pacing, where I get them to agree to a number up front, and I say, "Listen, I really think that this would be a good deal if we got to, we are, like, for example, if we can agree that the price is 250 is a good price. I'll say, listen, like, we agreed 250. This is a reasonable price for this house, right? We wouldn't come here if it wasn't." And yeah. Um, so let's start with 245 with them giving you 7,500 back, and I don't expect them to take that, but if they do, that's great. But if they come back and they say they want full price, but they'll give you the $7,500, well, then that means you just got it for 242.5. You see what I did there? Like, I've
Yep.
already planted the seed, and I do that. If I could, would you? So that when I do get them the house for that price, I'm not going to have any resistance once I get that counter offer back. So if that counter offer comes back anywhere within that zone, the deal's done. And I'm not even I'm and that at that point I'm saying, you already told me that you would, that if I could do this you would. And I'm telling you that that's one of the best closing moves that you can make, that if I could, would you? Because they already agree to it, and then when you actually do it,
Hey,
you just remind them, "Hey, remember you said if I could do it for this," and they did. So I'll even say, I'll call them, but I'll be
I've turned
like,
it off.
"Congratulations, congratulations. They did exactly what I knew they were going to do. And then they got nothing to say except initial the contract.
Come on.
Use that one. Antonio, I saw your hand up there.
Yeah, that makes a
There you
lot of
go.
sense. That does make a lot of sense what you just said.
Yeah, that's a great one to use with people, and because when you're going back and forth and you're negotiating and you're countering, what I'll do, I always try to get it done in like two moves, like two chess moves, right? Like I make the offer, the seller's counter, and then accept is my ideal. So I'm always planning ahead. When I write an offer on something, I always have an end in mind, and I always confirm with the buyer where I'm trying to get them, so that if I do get them there, or if sometimes if the buyer, if the seller just accepts that initial offer, I set them up because sometimes it's funny how that'll backfire, right? Like if you submit an offer and they accept it right away, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, wait a minute, like did we overpay? And I'm like, no, we already agreed that this was good. So this is actually great. I'm going to send you over. All you need to do is initial the price change, and we got a done deal. So while a lot of agents will try to become, I say it all the time, like don't try to be a superhero. You, I spend so much time trying to like get these great reviews and try to get my client the greatest deal ever. But that is not actually what our job is. Our job is to find them the house that they want and make it happen. And the less steps and the less back and forth you have to do to get there, the easier your life is going to be. And they're going to be happy because nobody wants to lose a house that they love over a couple of $1,000. And I'll wrap this little scenario up with and if you do that, right, if you suggest that and they don't follow your lead and it doesn't work out, the next time around, I'll be damn if I'm going to let them do it again. Right? Then I'll say, listen, look, we already tried that. It didn't work. Let's go with my plan. And usually they'll defer to you at that point. So a lot of times you got to lose the first one to get to the second one because these people have somebody told them like, oh, it's a buyer's market. You can get a super low price. But look, this house right here, it was on the market for 90 days. The guy comes in low, and guess what happens? He doesn't get the house, you don't get the sale, and everybody ends up with nothing. All you have is a empty gas tank, right?
100%. And like I've been telling him the last couple other deals, I've been telling him, I said, man, you need to know. Just like you said, I've been saying it on that aspect. I've been 100% trying to get him to push the needle up because it's like multiple people trying to get those properties. So you're gonna have to push the needle up on the money, you know?
Yeah. Well, if you're standing in a property, the next one, and you know the numbers make sense at a price that's higher than what he's trying to offer, you just got to try to steer them to come in a little bit higher. I mean, that's all you can do with these investors is try to guide them to, because to him, it's a little bit different story. He's not losing the house. At that point, he's losing money, right? And I don't know if somebody paid 225 for this house, it's probably not a good price to pay the full price for this house, but maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I agree. You're right, 100%.
All right, anybody want to cover one last thing? 6:58. I'm trying to keep this Tuesday night calm. It's late on a Tuesday. I'm gonna go home see my kids. Um, but I'm willing to cover one other little scenario or something. Antonio, I don't know if you're back with us if you had something. No? Okay. Well, I'm gonna message you guys. Like I said, I want to I want to come back next Tuesday and I want to look at we're gonna look at real hard action. Like what did you do? Keep your activity in FUB, make the calls, send the emails, send the texts, and the more of that you do, the more opportunities you're gonna have, the more houses you're gonna sell. It's really just that simple. So just keep grinding the phones. Um, Pick up the phone and make the calls. Like that's your fastest path to a paycheck because you cannot build real rapport over a text message. Like no, people misinterpret what you read. They have no idea of your personality. Like you don't get the chance to warm them up. And people buy from salespeople that they like. and how much can somebody really like you over a text message. And Austin, I know you weren't in the meeting, Sean, you weren't, but I do a lot of sending video text messages through FUB, and that's a tool you should absolutely use. It's there. So people could see your face and hear your voice. So, maybe Kim, if maybe you start playing around with the sending these video texts to introduce yourself. So if it's not jump right into the phone calls, maybe start getting a little bit comfortable with that, because if you make the video and you don't like it, you can do it again and do it again and do it again until you have a result that you like. That's my suggestion.
I did I did download the Sora, but I can't get the videos out of Sora. Like I can't forward
No,
it to
no, no, I'm
myself.
not talking about Sora. I'm talking about you, real
No,
you.
no, I know that, but I'm just saying in Sora, I cannot seem to forward those videos out of it. It just goes blank. So I don't know.
You got to
I was
do it
trying
on
to
your
put them on my
computer.
Facebook. On a
If you're trying
computer?
to
Okay.
download them, you got to do it on your computer.
Okay.
Yeah, something
Okay.
changed with it. I actually somebody told me today that Sora's going out of business, so that might
Oh
not be
wow.
around much longer. I don't know. I mean, they're not making any money. It's a free service. So, all right,
Mm.
guys, get out
Thank you.
there, make the calls, send the text, block some time, put your schedule together, send that to me when you have a game plan, and I want you to come up with a plan, and then I'm going to help hold you accountable to work the plan. It's really just that simple. And again, I want you guys to hold me accountable too. So if I'm saying I'm going to do something and I don't do it, please call me out. Call me to the front, and I will do it. And I took notes on what everybody said that they would like help with, so I'm going to start working on that. Put your schedule together and do the thing. Just do a little
And I
bit
sent
more.
you
If
the
you could just do a little bit more tomorrow than you did today, and even right now, like after we hop off of this, pull up your phone, send some text, send some calls, send some videos, send some emails. Just do a little bit more. And if you're a night owl like me, you can schedule those texts and those emails for tomorrow. So don't forget about that.
okay. I sent you those CMAs, Joel, last night.
Okay.
So
Last night,
yes.
how did you send them?
Email.
I did not see them, but I do have a tremendous amount of email with follow-up boss alerts from 482 automations.
I know
All right,
it's
I'll take a
just
look at them.
getting out of hand. Okay.
All right,
Bye.
guys, I'm here. You got me. So whatever you need, hit me up.
Yes,
See ya.
sir.
All right, guys.